So I'm going to switch gears a little bit here. So first I want to just thank everyone at St. Martin's, everyone else who made this day happen, our panelists, and for the students, all of you who realized that you have some big decisions coming up, and you took the time out of your day to come here and make it a point that you want to be in the driver's seat of those decisions as they happen. So let's give everyone a quick round of applause. So I want to ask real quick, does anybody have like an aha moment or key takeaway from today that they want to share with the group? Yeah. Absolutely. Yes. Love it. I couldn't have said it better myself. Honestly, I didn't really understand a lot of the world, the way it works with the business world, at least. Things like my Rotary group, I didn't know what Rotary was until I joined, but I get to meet so many influential people in my Rotary group just from going and doing my thing. Nothing business wise. People come to me eventually, but it is so neat to be able to be involved in the community and see just how things work and who does what. So I love that. So, speaking of the important decisions, I know I'm getting older. I just turned 35 a few days ago. But yeah, the students, they get it. You're getting older, Casey. Uh, um, I'm still not that far removed from college though, and I remember that time period of just finishing up classes and starting to realize, all right, this is all ending soon. I have to start making money. I got to start paying back student loans. I have to support myself. I have to start paying my own insurance, my bills. It's pretty scary. I remember I was sitting about probably a year and a half or so from graduating with my college advisor and just talking about what was I going to get my major in. And he had me kind of go through a backward process looking at, all right, what are the attributes or skills that I really value in my life, whether it's the career path that I'm choosing or just the attributes of the job specifically. And we looked at, okay, no shame, I like making money. It's fun for me. It's kind of like a game. I love helping people, so that was a big part of it. I've always liked math. I back when I was a kid, I started with selling little crafts to neighbors, mowing lawns. I figured out what eBay was and started buying stuff from China. I don't get too in the weeds of that, and selling it on eBay. I always had kind of that entrepreneur mindset. So I wanted to have a little bit more control over my income, my schedule, more like a business owner. That was always my goal, is just business. So that's what I walked in with, this business. And we ended up coming to finance, kind of meet in the middle. I liked money and I liked people. It's kind of a mix of both of those. It still didn't know what I wanted to do, but at least I had a path for finance. So moving forward with that, about a year before graduating, I ended up through a friend that I was more of a mentor actually. I think he was about 50 at the time, and he helped me get a job at a bank with Casey. And that job was really hard for me. As my first job out of college, I was an athlete as well, and when you go from being an athlete where you're kind of not, I don't want to say a big deal, people usually know who you are. All of a sudden, you're nobody in this company. You're just another number. That was a hard transition. Plus, just the idea of working full time and no breaks, no ambiguity. Just you go to work and you come home. That was a really challenging thing. So throughout that time at the bank, about 2 years, I met with a lot of people, mentors, that I just talked through, what do I want to do? I had this degree in finance. I was not using any of that at the bank. I did get partially licensed to do investments there, but that was about it. And I finally got an informational interview through one of my connections at Edward Jones. I wasn't too interested at the time. I just kind of went through the motions and went back to my job at the bank. And then I had a client call at the bank, and their caller ID said Edward Jones. So I asked, do you work at Edward Jones? I just met with someone. And then she's like, oh, come and meet my advisor. We'll get lunch together and talk about it. And one thing led to another, and all of a sudden I have an invitation to apply. So what I want to kind of emphasize there is I'm not a believer in luck. I think you create your own luck through opportunities. You create opportunities in I mean, it's just a game of averages, right? If you have enough opportunities, they're going to turn into luck eventually. And so I wanted to meet as many people as I could and get as networked as I could. I didn't do a great job of it, but I did at least good enough to get me to where I'm at today. Looking at it that after that informational interview, okay, I know what I want in life. I know what's important to me. I wanted flexibility. I wanted control. I wanted to help people. It was pretty much real estate or financial advising. And through those doors that I had helped create, one thing led to another, and again, got an invitation to apply. I went through that process, and it was rigorous, but made it through. And today, I could honestly say I've never felt that kind of trapped feeling that I felt at the bank, where I would wake up in the morning and just be like, I do not want to go to work today. And I haven't felt that since. So they say, the saying you've all probably heard at some point, if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. It's true. It is possible. I think all of you are very capable of doing that. You just got to put in a little bit of work beforehand to figure out as quickly as possible, what does that actually look like for you? So I'll give you a few statistics here. So LinkedIn Research did a study. They found 61% of adults aged 25 to 33 say their top cause of anxiety is that feeling of finding a career they're passionate about. And then another study by Pew Research Center shows only 51% of workers are highly satisfied with their job. When I'm meeting with clients, I always ask them, I need to know, when do you want to retire? And a common answer to that question is the sarcastic tomorrow. It's like, okay, yeah, but like really? But you kind of dig into that a little bit. Yeah, they're probably joking. They are joking. They can't retire tomorrow, usually. But so many people get trapped in these jobs or careers that they don't enjoy. They get trapped because they don't want to go outside their comfort zone. They get trapped because they get these great benefits or pay that they don't want to give up and try to recreate somewhere else. Or sometimes it's just they didn't really understand the job before they got into it. And it's working out. Why change it? Again, kind of the comfort zone piece. And with comfort zones, one thing I'll say, so any athletes in the room? Perfect, a few. So that day after a really hard workout, you're really sore, and you stretch, and it helps a little bit. When you get older, it doesn't help as much. Quick tip. But when you're young, it does. It kind of feels good a little bit, but it also hurts. And then there's an injury. When you have an injury, let's say you tweak your knee, if you start stretching, it's probably not going to feel very good. So with comfort zones, you have a comfort zone that you're going outside, and that's, it's good for you deep down. It's making you a better person. But then there's also, you don't want to get stuck in a job that's painful for you. So thinking of it that way of just, don't do what's really bringing you down. Find something better, what you really want to do. But also push yourself, push your limits a little bit. Whether it's starting a business or going to work at a company, apply for a higher position, whatever that is, go outside of your comfort zone a little bit. Don't get stuck in the trap of you work for a pension. You spend 40 hours plus a week at work, and you're going to do that for 40 plus years. Kind of depressing, I know. But if you enjoy it, it's not. So take the time to figure out what you love and do that. So then, how do we make this all happen? There are so many resources. I wish I would have known about them or given them the time of day when I was in college or high school even. But there are career path tests you can take where you can go in and you can put in what's important to you, and it'll give you 25 results of what potential careers you could be matched with. You can go and you can talk to mentors. You can start writing down all your skills and your strengths. Are you more social, more of an introvert? Are you a risk taker, meaning like business, commissions, sales? Or do you want a consistent salary? Do you want opportunities to grow professionally, or are you going to be stagnant in your career? And not that that's a bad thing. Some people just want to do their job and go home. That's great. But you got to figure those things out to see which direction you want to go. You heard from a few business owners today, which was awesome because it was so true. Some of the things that I heard said. When you run a business, you're going to have a lot of things that come up. And I mentioned earlier with my business, I don't feel like I work. I love my work. I could stay there all day, and I mean, there's a lot of days where I go home at 6, 7 at night. Hopefully they get less and less as time goes on. But even the most stressful day I've ever had, I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world when it comes to my career. So starting a business, we had some really good questions, also some very complex questions. So if that's something that you're interested in, go find people that run businesses in that And if you can't get a lunch date with them, go work for them. Learn how they run their business and make it better. Obviously, usually it does cost money to start a business, and you got to start somewhere. So go make some money while you learn how you run your business really, and make it better. Then the other piece is just the networking. So get lunch with these other professionals, shadow jobs, ask questions, do informational interviews. Most companies would be happy to sit down with you and just give you an hour of their time to talk about what their company does, how it works, what that career field looks like, especially when you're at the age you're at today. This is not stuff that you need to wait until you graduate high school or college to do. It's stuff you could do whenever you want to. Why not take advantage of it so you don't have to do this when the clock starts ticking? Because the student loan deferment, they come up quick and interest rates are going up. It's not going to be fun to deal with that while you're trying to figure out what you want to do at the same time. So I want to stop for just a minute. Has anyone taken any steps to do any of these things to kind of figure out where do you fit in with a career and what that looks like? Anyone want to? Yeah, go ahead. That's awesome. And I'll to add on, I love that. That's awesome. I will tell you, most other, especially business owners, people who have a little bit more invested in their business, they want to help young people out. That's the future, right? You're both the prospective clients or customers for them. But a lot of, I mean, yes, there's good and bad. A majority of small business owners that I've come in contact with are really good people, and they want what's best for their employees. And if they can help someone in their career to get started and be something with that, they'll do it for the most part. So don't have shame in going and asking deep questions, asking for help, asking for mentorships. Surround yourself with the people. You mentioned the community involvement as well. Go join a Rotary, a Kiwanis club, get involved in your city council, whatever that looks like, whatever interests you. Go and do those things because there's nothing saying you can't do it. I wish we had more younger people that were, but again, I think unfortunately, sometimes we do get a little bit put into a box where school is very structured. I'm speaking more on the high school level. There's so many kids they have to deal with. It's really hard to get some one-on-one attention, and sometimes you're just going to be put into a box because there's so many kids. Step outside that box. Take some more risks. Have some fun. You only have one life. Enjoy it. Don't waste 40 years doing something you hate when you could make it better. So, a few things also I want to point out just when it comes to picking your career. Just know you don't have to get it right the first time. The average number of jobs people hold is about 12 and a half, somewhere in there. And that's completely normal. Usually half of those come before college age, or graduating college rather. But there's nothing wrong with going down a path and realizing, this isn't really for me. I don't enjoy this. At the very least, you're going to cross off one thing that you don't like now. So it's always going to be beneficial. My time at the bank, I didn't enjoy that, but I would bet a pretty good amount of money if I hadn't had that 2 years at the bank, I probably wouldn't be here today because I wouldn't have had the confidence to go in and do an interview. A lot of skills that I didn't know I had, I realized through that bank job, and it was great for that, and I'm so grateful for it. And honestly, if I could go back, I don't think I would do anything different because, like I said, I probably wouldn't have been hired because I had low confidence, wide eyes. I had no idea what I was doing coming out of college, as most of us don't. So other parts to that too. You all should have confidence. Today your skills are pretty minimal because you haven't worked a lot of jobs, but you're young and you're hungry. You have time. Employers look at that, and that's a huge deal to them. If you're going to be there for 30 or 40 years, that's a lot more valuable than someone who is mid-career changing because they know they can develop you a little bit. Of course, there's a lot of labor laws where you can't really do that. I'm just telling you, though, if you're eager and you're really ready to learn, you're going to have a lot of opportunities that come up really quickly. So have confidence in yourself and then figure out, again, those unique skills that make you you and capitalize on those, right? We all have a set of skills. It's different for every single person. But whatever those skills are, find them, hone in on them, develop them, and use that when you're looking at your career. So I have to talk a little bit, too, about saving. This came up a little bit. I'll be a little bit more brief because we did cover a lot of this already. But I'm just going to stress it more. don't wait to start saving. I don't mean just putting money in an emergency savings account. That's more so what savings should be, short-term expenses, and then 6 months of income, or rather expenses. But then work towards your retirement. Work towards buying that house. Interest rates hopefully will go down. Right now they're outrageous. But while you're waiting for them to come down, you can at the very least start putting money away for a house. That way there's really no loss because that money will be growing and keeping up with inflation. Hopefully close to what real estate's doing, or maybe even more depending on what the market does. Understand those benefits that you're offered at your job. The 401k options, the 403b, a pension, HSA, healthcare plans. Understand that stuff and sit down with someone and ask the questions. And don't feel dumb. I have 75-year-old men and women that come in my office and they can't tell me what a Roth IRA is. Don't have any shame in not knowing these things because again, it drives me crazy. Schools just don't teach this stuff. And I have a lot of state workers and teachers as clients and they don't know it either. So it's not just you. Sit down with the professionals that you need to sit down with. Accountants, CPAs, financial advisors, real estate agents, whatever that is. You want to get your life organized as early as possible because when you wait 5 years after you've graduated, you're in your career, you're making good money, it's really hard to change bad habits at that point. If you're making $5,000 a month but spend $5,500 a month, that's not going to end very well for you, and it's not going to be easy to catch up. So from day one, put money away. Averages 10-20%, great. If you can do that, awesome. Every single person is different, and that's where you just need to sit down. Go talk to your parents' financial advisor. If they don't have one, go find one on your own. Start calling until someone will sit down with you. Most probably would because they know there's a lack of education out there. So I'm gonna pause here for a minute. Anyone have any questions about the day as a whole or anything from me specifically that you can think of? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Mhm. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I love doing that stuff. This stuff. I mean, I'm here today. It was kind of some of it last minute, but I'm passionate. I've got kids, four boys, 6, 4, and twins that are going to be, or yeah, 3 at the end of this month. It's busy, but I want them taken care of one day, and so the least I can do is help out kids today, so that we have just a better community. Because if you all probably grew up here, if you didn't, doesn't matter. Wherever you grew up, that's your community. You might not live here when you get through with college or find a job or go from high school to job. But at the very least, that idea of getting involved and understanding your community is so important. It's so helpful. It really gives you just a broad overview of how does not only politics work, but how does this community function. Olympia, Casey, you'll probably testify to this. It's a small town. People know people. Everyone knows everyone, especially if there's someone that you want to know. And so getting in with those people and those circles is really important for career development. Whether it's you're in a business where you have clients or you're working for someone and you want a promotion, all that stuff with community is so helpful and important. So yeah, to answer your question, absolutely, 100%. That'd be awesome. I do, yes. I'll grab it after this. Absolutely, yeah. Oh yeah, sorry. So how would you reach out? Is it more so for like fundraising? Yeah. Um, Grab a phone book. Don't really have those anymore, so go on Google. Yeah, call small businesses. It doesn't happen too often, but when I do have a kid that comes in randomly to ask about a sponsorship for their school, I love doing that stuff. The fact that kids will go out and do that, it's not easy cold calling like that. It's hard work. I think the skills are irreplaceable, and most business owners feel that way too because they went through the ringer to get to where they're at, and they're going to help someone out who's willing to take a little bit of risk. Yeah. Yep. Yep. Yes. Good. Thank you for pointing that out. I agree completely. I'm old school, face to face. That's the way to do it. Yeah. And again, I would even say a little further, like it doesn't really matter what you're raising money for. It's probably going to be a good cause. It's the fact that you have the guts to go in someone's office randomly and solicit something. That it's hard work. It really is. Um, yeah. Yes. Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. No, I spent 2 years door knocking. Go house to house in Thurston County. I've been in most neighborhoods. You may have even seen me at some point. That's how I started my business off, and I knocked on doors and asked for business. Some people made it all worth it. Some people, I felt like a horrible person at the end of the day. But you got to keep pushing through. So yeah, I love that. Skill's so important. What else? Yes. Yeah, a great way to get connected with a lot of business owners really quickly, or professionals rather. Um, go to your chamber, go call the office they have. Thurston County Chambers, I think the local one here. I mean, we have a ton of them, but chambers of commerce are a great way to connect dots very quickly. Also, I think they actually work very well hand in hand with like a nonprofit club. Honestly, if you can strive also to get on different boards positions, there's nothing really that, as far as I know, that says you can't do a board position when you're younger. You don't have to be a certain age or have a certain income or anything. It's about your commitment, your passion, and your creativity. So, yeah, the more community involvement, the more creative you can think outside the box with that stuff, the better off you're going to be. Any other questions? Perfect. So, I will wrap up with that. But again, I just want to say it. I can't say it enough. The fact that you all took the time to come today out of your day where you could be doing a lot of other things, it shows you are serious. You want to take control of your future. Take that, run with it, keep it going. Don't lose the momentum. You've got either several months, several years until you're going to start your career. And don't be afraid of failure. It's going to happen one way or another. Doesn't mean you're going to fail as a whole, right? It just means that something might not work out the way you want, and that's fine. You learn something from it. So thank you all for being here. We all appreciate it. Just that when you try to give back and people receive that, it makes you feel good. So I appreciate it. So thank you all.